Welcome to Science, Health and Healing, Library of Children's Health Core. I'm Dr. Majid. The subject of this article is 20 colonoscopies, all nonsense. 20 colonoscopies, all nonsense. These are exactly the words which were spoken by a patient that I saw recently who had been treated for ulcerative colitis with anti-inflammatory, frequent uses of steroids, and now Remicade type of drugs, and at one time methotrexate. During my 29 years of work as a hospital pathologist, conservatively speaking, I looked at more than 14,000 colon biopsies. I also looked at more than 5,000 stomach biopsies. I understand the frustration of this person who said 20 colonoscopies, all nonsense. Colonoscopy is actually a very good procedure if the purpose is to diagnose cancer, or if there is torrential hemorrhage and you want to identify the precise source of bleeding. Now you can have one diagnostic colonoscopy for looking for other unusual lesions. But unfortunately, I see it all too often. Patients with Crohn's colitis or ulcerative colitis or irritable bowel syndrome or diverticulitis or colonic diverticulosis will keep having colonoscopy after colonoscopy after colonoscopy. That is only good for the hospital and the gastroenterologist. It's really not good for the person. Now I understand that if you've had ulcerative colitis for 20 years, you have a rising incidence of cancer developing in inflamed, chronically overactive, and abnormally growing lining cells of the colon. That's because of chronic inflammation. I will tell you that in my patients, and I've taken a large number of patients with ulcerative colitis, Crohn's colitis, diverticulitis, I will tell you that I have never sent a patient for surgery for ulcerative colitis, nor for Crohn's colitis, nor for colonic diverticulitis. President Eisenhower had Crohn's colitis. He took 11 surgical procedures as a president of the country. Ulcerative colitis, in my experience, is always mold allergy, gut fermentation, leaky gut state, food allergy. Eventually, colon slows down the stomach. It alters colonic flora, alters the flora of the stomach, slows it down, alters the flora of the oral cavity. Please add one word to your vocabulary, OSIC, O-S-I-C. I introduced this term, O for oral flora, S for stomach flora, I for intestinal flora, C for colonic flora. We need to be aware that the flora of the oral cavity and the normal flora of the stomach and the normal flora of the intestine, they are in equilibrium in communicating, and they alter the flora and are influenced by the flora of the colon. So the real issues are leaky gut state, mold allergy, food allergy, inflammation. Now steroids, Remicade, methotrexate, none of these drugs address any of the real issues. And so I understood the frustration of this young man. 20 colonoscopies, all nonsense. I wholeheartedly support that. I think that if anybody has had 20 colonoscopy, he has a right to say 20 colonoscopies, all nonsense. Maybe he should say 20 colonoscopies, 19 nonsense. Or if he wants to be very charitable, say 20 colonoscopies, 18 nonsense. I have a 4-hour video seminar on bowel health. Anybody who's been labeled with all these conditions, please get a copy of that. Go to my website, majidali.com. If you do that, order it online. You can also order it by phone. You will be very kind to your colon, so your colon can be kind to you and begin to heal. I'm also hoping that by giving this segment, I'm reaching people all over the world. Our vision at this encyclopedia is to provide authentic information untainted by corporate deceptions, as well as by fear profiteers. You can support our vision, forward this YouTube segment to your email, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn contacts. As I said, you can also support us, visit our website. I have a very large number of articles published on this at wiki-medical.org. Just Google the word gut fermentation, put my name on it. And of course, on this encyclopedia, I probably have close to 50 segments devoted to the issues of gut fermentation, leaky gut state, mold allergy, food allergy, and how toxicities of the colon create toxicities of the blood. Fermentation in the gut, bowel, colon leads to fermentation in the blood. That leads to fermentation in the liver, and that eventually will lead to fermentation in the mind. And that's where the word expressions like 20 colonoscopies, all nonsense come from. Thank you for joining me, and do join me again, and do so soon. Thank you.